Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to this. This is another episode of 10 years ago now. Tonight we're talking about July 2001, and of course in July 2001 it was meant to be Fully Loaded 2001, but Fully Loaded didn't happen. Why didn't it happen? Well, because of this show we're going to look at tonight. We're going to be talking about the Invasion pay-per-view. But before I do that, last time when we did the King of the Ring, I talked about the backstories that were leading up to the pay-per-view, and you guys really seemed to buzz off that. So I've got a couple of pages of notes. Obviously, I couldn't cover everything that happened in the 4 weeks between these shows because a fuckload went down. A big amount of stuff went down. I've just got the highlights, the big bits. Alright, so the first one is that June the 25th at Madison Square Garden. This is the night after the King of the Ring. Mike Awesome powerbombs Rhyno onto a ladder and wins the WWF Hardcore Championship. The first WCW guy to win a WWF Championship. He looked like a goon as he celebrated. Just thought I'd throw that out there. On that same show, Booker T issued a challenge to Stone Cold Steve Austin from WWF New York. Austin, off he went. Gotta go and get me some Booker T. Took Angle with him. Gets there to find that Booker T's just left. And where's he heading? Oh, of course. He's heading for Madison Square Garden, where he beats up Vince, which is lovely. On the 28th of June, SmackDown, in one of those bits that I just do not understand, Albert defeated Kane to win the Intercontinental Championship after DDP had hit Kane with a diamond cutter. This is one of those decisions. I have no idea whatsoever why they did it. I mean, who thought that Albert as IC champ was a good idea? Because I tell you something, I sure as fuck didn't. Also on that same show, we had a match featuring the Dudley Boyz versus the Hardy Boyz. This went to a no finish when Chuck Palumbo and Sean Haire hit the ring. The whole of the WWF locker room hit the ring to get rid of them. 2nd of July, Raw featured the first WCW match on WWF programming. Now picture the scene, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a long-time viewer of the WWF, you've been conditioned by the announcers to believe that WCW sucks balls for money. That's just the way you've been brainwashed. If you didn't watch WCW especially, that's the way you felt. So to have Buff Bagwell versus Booker T as the main event on Raw, with WCW lighting, WCW announcing, I'm sure I've written it down here, Scott Hudson and Arn Anderson do the commentary. This match was, let's just put it this way, right? The match itself was horrifically bad, a truly terrible match. But the more important thing is that the crowd absolutely hated it with an all-consuming passion and cheered Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle when they came out to interfere in it. Now, bear in mind that up until this point, Angle and Austin were heels. This showed just how little they cared about this match. This match is one of the turning points in the whole Invasion thing. I've read many times, I've heard many times that the WWF wanted to spin off WCW with its own programming. After this match got the reaction it did, that plan was shelved indefinitely. Like, no, we're not going to go down that road, we're going to go down this road. So nice one, Buff Bagwell. I blame you for this. I've got to talk about some of the segments that were going on backstage at this time. These involved Kurt Angle, they involved Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they involved Vince McMahon. They were some of the funniest things I've ever seen on a wrestling show. You had Austin, who was singing Kumbaya and stuff like that to Vince. You had them exchanging. Basically, Angle and Austin were fighting for Vince's attention. So you had Austin gave Vince and Angle some cowboy hats, for example, one week. Next week, you saw Angle give Austin and Vince some sheriff badges. It probably doesn't sound as funny as it does, but trust me, it was high fucking hilarious stuff. It really was. And then in another baffling bit of booking, on the July the 9th Raw, you had the APA beat the Dudley Boyz for the Tag Team Championships. So now you've got the APA as tag champs and Albert as the IC champ, and you're screaming at your television going, why? Who thought this was a good move? Also, on that same show, this was a historic show, the July the 9th Raw. If you ever get a chance to watch it, if you haven't seen it especially, I would thoroughly recommend it. You had Kane and Jericho versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. They won by disqualification when Tommy Dreamer and RVD interfered to hit the ring. Then Tazz, Rhyno, just incredible. Raven, the Dudley boys, people like that, they ran down looking to get rid of the of RVD and the other one, Tommy Dreamer, who's, you know, just in out. Sorry, Tommy Dreamer, but yeah, they all run down to the ring. Looks like they're going to get rid of the ECW guys, and then they start beating up Kane and Jericho. Paul Heyman gets into the ring. Cuts an absolutely fucking epic promo, reveals that ECW is back. My God! But on the same show, later on in the it's the WWF and WCW versus the ECW guys, yeah. And what happens? Well, predictably, the ECW guys and the WCW guys form the alliance there and then and start battering the WWF, right? And if that isn't enough. Right, bear in mind, this is all one show. This is 6 months worth of storyline, or 2, 3, 4 months maybe, of storyline being played out on one show because of one match. Think about that. You've got Shane McMahon gets on the mic, cuts a promo saying, I'd like to introduce you to the new owner of ECW, and it was fucking Steph McMahon, and you're just like, proper mind-blown thing, because it's one of those, on its own, you watch it and you're like, my God, this show is incredible. You can't turn over onto anything else because there's too much going on, but at the same time you're thinking, why are they doing so much? They could play this out week after week after week after week. Who is the owner of ECW, for example? Who's the big owner? You could have kept it going for a couple of hours. No, all on one fucking show. So, Lindsay McMahon comes out. This is after this, obviously, and she basically changes the name Fully Loaded to Invasion. Lots of inter stuff go on that I could talk about for days, but I felt it more important to talk about a couple of days before the Invasion show, where you've got the old Stone Cold, the previous SmackDown. Yeah, Vince McMahon had come out and said that he wants Stone Cold to lead Team WWF, and he said that classic line, which is, do you know what I need? Do you know who I need? I need the old Stone Cold. Stone Cold, Jake said, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm the hugging guy, remember? So he leaves. And Vince McMahon's like, Steve, come back, I need you, Steve. Nothing Vince McMahon says, changes Austin. He just keeps walking. Vince utters sorry if I'm boring you because I'm going on so much, but I felt you need to know this, Vince delivers one of the best lines ever, which is, Austin, come back, give me a stunner. And in one of those just beautiful moments, Austin stops on the ramp, and you think, yeah, he's going to turn back, and then he keeps walking. That was priceless. Anyway, fast forward to the next Raw. All of there's brawls going off everywhere between the Alliance members and the WWF members, but Austin is nowhere to be found because he's drinking in a bar. Vince goes to try and tell him to come to the arena, and he won't. And in the back, classy Freddie Blassie cuts a promo, and Undertaker cuts a promo, and eventually, long story short, obviously, Austin decides to go back to the arena, where one of the best things ever happens, because he's got to remember, he turned heel at WrestleMania there, so in a proper babyface turn moment, he comes in and he fucking stunners every single Alliance member that he sees, and it's incredible. It's a great bit of wrestling TV, and that leads us to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Invasion pay-per-view itself. I'd tell you the buy rate, but for some reason I haven't written it down. It's there, go have a look. I know it's huge. It was a big deal. But, well, I was going to say something, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You've got Cole and JR on comm, so this could be quite terrible, just because of that. The opening contest, Edge and Christian defeating Lance Storm and Mike Awesome in an okay opener. The heels get no entrance at all, it has to be said. It's literally, they get into the ring as their music's playing, so you haven't seen any part of their entrance at all. Storm gets on the mic and says, if I could be serious for a minute without being interrupted, and which now bear in mind, I was watching this on Channel 4, which was live on free TV, brilliant. Didn't ever watch WCW, so this is someone I called Lance Storm. doing one of his characteristic stick. You know, he would get on the mic and say, if I can be serious for a minute. He used to do it all the time. Of course, this means jack shit to me watching at home. So I'm thinking, you know, what I'm watching this now, I'm thinking, why not put a package in showing you how good Lance Storm is, showing you how good Mike Awesome is. But no, we don't get that. Anyway, back and forth at the start until Edge launches Storm over the ropes onto Awesome on the outside. Christian follows with a crap looking splash off Edge's back. Lovely double hip toss by Edge and Christian. Christian then plays face in peril, including being whipped chest first into the ring post and a splash by Awesome that gets 2. Christian continues to get owned, including a nice backbreaker by Storm and a 5-star frog splash that gets 2 for Awesome as Edge breaks the count. Awesome tries a top rope powerbomb, which really gets the crowd going, incidentally. Christian counters, enabling him to hot tag Edge. Edge naturally cleans house. Storm is able to get a small package while the rest backers turn out. Christian gets in the ring and rolls him over so Edge is on top. That's a really nice little spot. And that gets 2. Jawbreaker by Storm, who tags in Awesome. He hits a clothesline off the top by Christian and then a spear by Edge for 2. Huge, and it is huge, super kick by Storm on Edge. Awesome covers but only gets 2. He goes for the Awesome bomb, on Edge, gets him up, and Christian spears Awesome so that Edge, falls down onto Awesome, and that gets the 3. It was an okay match. It was a 2.5 star match at best. Awesome didn't look particularly awesome. And the thing is, I understand why this one was done completely, because you've got a partisan WWF crowd there. The crowd that are in attendance at this show are strictly into the WWF guys. So having the WWF guys win in the opening match makes perfect sense, and I have no issues with that. Something I do have issue with, though, is the next match, as Earl Hebner defeated Nick Patrick in a truly horrific match. Let me tell you something, right? I understand why this is happening, right? Because, they're trying to signify that it's not just the wrestlers who are part of this invasion, it's the staff, it's the referees, it's everyone. But at the same time, I have no idea why this is happening. Because you're thinking to yourself, oh, they could have put on another match that was 10 times better than this, but they chose not to. All I can tell you is this, right? I'll tell you about the awfulness about this match, but I'm going to choose not to. What I do want to say is that any time after watching this match, watching either Nick Patrick get bumped or Earl Hebner get bumped is just going to feel weird, because in this match they both take bumps and they both get back up. So I'm sat there going, so how is this meant to work? If you're in a match, you can get bumped, but if you're refereeing a match, you can't get bumped. If you get flipped, you stay down for 10 minutes. How does that work? Crowd are ridiculously into Hebner in this one. Mick Foley's the guest referee, so that helps, I suppose. Foley sends, at the end of the match, right? Foley sends the WCW referees to the back. Crowd love that. Hebner then hits the world's worst spear, and that gets the win. Foley puts Mr. Socko on Nick Patrick afterwards. The only thing that saves this match from minus figures, and I swear to God it's that bad, it was properly hovering on a -1, is the crowd. The crowd are so into it, you wouldn't believe it. Which is so bizarre, and that saves it from minus, so of course, it's a Dudley. Next, APA vs Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo. I've said this already, I know, but I feel I must say it again, which is, why are the APA the tag team champions? I don't get it. I really don't. Anyway, as I also said during the opening contest, a video package showing how damn good O'Haire and Palumbo are, or are meant to be, so that the crowd, or so that we at home know who these people are, would make a lot of sense. I was thinking while I was watching, do you remember when the early days, I don't know if it still did this in the later days of it, when I used to watch Ring of Honor on HD Next, when that started, they would bring up boxes and tell you all about the people, Something like that would have been brilliant. Instead, you, the viewer, are just meant to everyone just assumes, that you know who this person must be. I must know who Sean O'Haire is. Obviously I know. But I don't. He's just another guy who's the WCW Tag Team Champion. The APA, like I say, unfortunately, the WWF Tag Team Champion. So it's title versus title. Neither titles on the line, though. Anyway, Bradshaw owns Palumbo until he tags in O'Haire, who brawls with Bradshaw and hits a clothesline, but then he hits a fall-away slam. Farouk in, naturally, he owns O'Haire. Palumbo in, he just gets owned, to be honest, because that's what this one is. This one is a glorified squash. The APA absolutely batter Sean O'Haire and Chuck Palumbo, but the thing is, it doesn't make sense, because if all the Alliance members are the heels, yeah, then why are the APA absolutely annihilating the two heels? Surely the APA, let's say Farouk for example, should be taking the mother of all beatings and then gets the hot tag to Bradshaw. No, that doesn't really happen in this one. It's just tag, beats. You know, like I say, the heels get just obliterated in this one. Interestingly, in this one as well, is that Farouk is the one who carries the match to the young guys. That's an interesting one. I need to point that out. I've lost my point now. Farouk with a spine buster, hot tag. See what I mean? To Bradshaw, no reaction at all. He power slams Palumbo for 2. Nice double teaming by the heels, but an extra stiff clothesline from Hill by Bradshaw gets the win. And I'm sat there watching this, going, "Oh, why did you just do that?" You could have had a chance, right? Because these are new guys, essentially, in the WWF, aren't they? Sean O'Haire, Chuck Palumbo. If they dominate the APA, you've got a brand new, fresh, hot tag team. And as such, they get owned and don't really do much as a team again. You know? And that's that. It's a 1 star. So, you know, opener was alright. Ref match was shit. This was shit. Oh, in the back, Vince McMahon and Y2J do the never, ever again thing, whatever it was Jericho used to say. It's excruciating. It's one of those things that if you're watching this with a guy who isn't a wrestling fan, you know, you'd be fast forwarding this bit or turning the volume down or something because it's so cringeworthy. Next, Billy Kidman defeated X Pac in it's an alright match. You've gotta love, right, how the entire WWF is babyface by default, yeah. But X Pac gets booed because he's fucking awful. That really does make me champ. Make me laugh, sorry, that's the way I said champ. It's because I looked down. X-Pac is the light heavyweight champion. Billy Kidman is the cruiserweight champion. So again, it's title versus title. But neither title are on the line. That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why they're doing these interpromotional matches, but the titles are on the line. Anyway, did a nice bit of groundwork from both men at the start. Kidman takes control in an enziguri and a weird bulldog on the outside. Springboard splash by Pac gets booed. But he then follows, yeah, with a chin lock, X-Pac does. And I'm sat there watching this going, it's almost like he wants to be booed, putting on moves like that. But hey, that's just me. Kidman uses a sleeper of his own, but Pac suplexes out of it, then misses a somersault splash. Kidman comes back with a bomb. Pac gets 2 off a bomb out of his own. He goes for another 1, but Kidman counters for 2. X Factor gets 2. He goes for the fucking bullshit buster, which is my name for the Bronco Buster, if you hadn't figured that out. But Kidman goes low, goes up to the top, hits a shooting star press for the win. 2 stars, because I'm very, 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 very generous. It was an okay match, but it was absolutely nothing special. Nothing at all. Speaking of nothing special, Raven defeating William Regal in an absolutely shite match. You've got into this one, you're thinking, well, this is a bit of a style clash, isn't it? You've got hardcore guy Raven versus technical guy Regal. This could be pants. Also, another reason why it could be pants is up until this fucking match, William Regal had been playing a heel and was now playing a babyface, and vice versa. You've got Raven playing the heel when up until this match he was a babyface, or up until the Alliance thing he was a babyface. So it doesn't quite work. Michael Cole gets my Idiot of the Year award in this match, incidentally, because I could tell you about the match, but there's not much to say. He says, and I'm paraphrasing here because I couldn't write it down fast enough, but when you grew up on the docks of Blackpool in England, you developed that vicious attitude. Michael Cole, look at me now. There ain't no docks in Blackpool. Blackpool's a fucking pleasure place. You know, it's got a promenade and roller coasters and Madame Tussauds and all that. I guarantee you, Cole, there ain't no docks there. I guarantee it, alright? I guarantee it. No. There's 3 piers. They don't really count though. Fucking tip. The crowd don't care about this match. It's sloppy, it's boring, it's essentially a card-filling match. But that, you know, you try not to look at it as a card filler, but it so is. I don't care when Regal does any beautiful suplexes, because he does a couple. Tazz comes out to no reaction whatsoever. He suplexes Regal, and then Raven hits the even flow for the win. Half a star, because I'm so nice. Those suplexes from Regal, only thing good. Next, another crap match on a show full of crap matches, it seems, is Shawn Stasiak, Hugh and Kanyon defeating the Big Slow, Billy Gunn and Albert in an awful match. Apparently Chris Kanyon, according to Michael Cole, is an up-and-coming superstar despite being in WCW as Mortis since 1997. He's an up-and-comer. You know, he's not a veteran, obviously. The faces all press on the heels. Lovely leg sweep stroke combo. Stasiak in, and he crowd chant meat at him, which makes me laugh. Something happens on the outside of the ring, but we don't get to see it. It gets a big pop, but we don't get to see it. So it's literally something, the camera's pointing in the middle of the ring, something happens on the outside, but we don't see it at all, so I can't tell you what it is. Bulldozer gets 2, DDT by Stasiak, a famous then a reverse DDT by Morris, who goes for the cover, as does Stasiak. It looks like Stasiak and Morris don't know who's actually meant to be getting the 3 count. And that's the end of that. After the bell, the big slow chokeslams the 3 heels to prove that WCW suck or something. Match was utterly shit, and here's a little bit of trivia for you. An interesting little thing that I noticed is that the big slow wasn't tagged into the ring at any point during this match. A lot of confidence in the big slow right there. Oh yes, my god, this show's fucking awful, isn't it? It's just a crap match. Yeah, like I say, opener was good, and then we had a dud, a 1-star, a 2-star, a half-star, and a quarter-star match. And the next one is better, but only just. And it's Tajiri defeating Tazz in an okay match. So we start off with a standing moonsault by Tajiri. Tazz comes back with a release belly to belly. Tajiri unloads with kicks, but then eats a lariat. Tazz controls for a while with various submission attempts, but the crowd are complete and utterly dead. Don't care about either man in any slight. Nice whiplash by Tazz, gets 2. Tajiri comes back with an elbow, the tarantula, and a drop kick for 2. Tazz hits a nice T-Bone suplex, but then Tajiri comes back with a green mist and a big kick to the face for the win at 5 minutes and 44 seconds. Which is a problem, because believe it or not, I was starting to enjoy this match. I know the crowd didn't care, but it was a nice little back and forth match. 5 minutes 44, that's way too short for me to give a shit, isn't it? The thing that makes me smile about this match is back in ECW, Tazz would absolutely obliterate Tajiri, and it must have felt good for Tajiri to get his own back up, even if it's just a tiny little bit, mustn't it? In a segment at WWF New York, an awful segment, it has to be said, you've got Hardcore Holly signing autographs, and there's a queue of people lining up to get an autograph from Hardcore Holly. That makes me chuckle, it really does, because I'm sure there's no one on earth who wants Hardcore Holly's autograph, but there's a load of people. Anyway, one of the guys in the line is wearing a WCW t-shirt, so Hardcore Holly beats him up, which is lovely, I suppose. And next, we have a match that actually improved. It's probably better than all the matches. If you put the ratings together, you probably get this one. As RVD defeats Jeff Harvey in a good match to win the Hardcore title. This is one of the best hardcore matches I've ever seen. Can I just point that out? I just need to point that out. Do you know why? It's because it doesn't resort to the generic cookie cutter shots and all that shit. So, flippy floppy stuff to start, leads to a stalemate. RVD poses, enabling Jeff to take control. RVD gets a crap looking standing moonsault. It's crap, not because of something RVD does, it's crap because Jeff is way out of position for it. That's just notes. Followed by Rolling Thunder, Jeff shoves him off the top rope, and RVD eats railing. Baseball spike by Jeff. RVD counters the rail runner. Is that what it's called when Jeff gets on the rails and runs round? I can't think of its proper name if it's got one, so I call it the rail runner. Just a thought. And they brawl into the crowd. RVD with a moonsault off the bleacher, which is nice. He follows with a spin kick off the apron. Jeff then sunsets flip off the apron. That sounds horrible. The thud that RVD's back makes when he hits the mats on the outside. It's a proper ow kind of moment, you cringe. Jeff then gets out his motherfucking massive ladder, because he does that. He climbs, but RVD knocks the ladder and because the ladder's in the ring. No, it's not. It's on the outside. RVD drop kicks the ladder and he falls off. And that, do you remember the Don't Try This at Home adverts that we saw for years? The one that said, how do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder? That's where that quote comes from. Hooray! RVD gets a chair out, but Jeff gets it and uses it, but then he eats a Van Daminator off the stage. RVD pulls Jeff back onto the stage and hits a leg drop for 2. Back inside, Jeff is busted open as RVD drop kicks a chair into his face. RVD goes for a moonsault, but hits knees. Jeff with a fucking awesome DDT for a pair of 2 counts. A waistlock suplex gets 2 for Jeff. Jawbreaker, he goes up top to try and hit the swanton, eats knees. RVD makes a miraculous recovery, hits the 5-star frog splash for the win. It's a 3.5-star match for me. I really like this one, and as I said at the start, very few weapon shots, and the weapon shots that there were all made sense. There was none of the usual crap that you see in a WWF Hardcore title match, which is why I enjoyed it. Next, we go back right down to Shitsville, USA, as Lita and Trish Stratus defeated Torrie Wilson and Stacy Keibler in an absolutely terrible bra and panties match, which was so bad. Only hype. There's two good things about this match, right? Mick Foley was guest referee, yay. And secondly, and this wasn't part of the match, when Lita and Trish Stratus were backing the way up the ramp, sorry. You know, the bit where I've just mentioned where Jeff Harvey was knocked off, yeah? Lita and Trish tried their damnedest to fall into that as they were celebrating, which really made me laugh. Ha! That match was a dud. So, you know, a show full of shit matches, there was another shit match. Could the main event save the day? I've written it quite extensive, well, goddamn, 3 pages of notes for this one, so I'll have a mouthful of cider and prepare yourself for this one. This is another 3.5-star match, by the way. In my opinion. A lot happens in it. An awful lot. Bear with me a second. It's a lovely day outside. So, Rhyno, Booker T, DDP and the Dudley Boyz defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, Kane and The Undertaker in an alright match. My first thought watching this match, be it on the night it was, be it, you know, the other day when I was watching this again, is that it's just WWF guys versus 3 WWF guys and DDP and Booker T. The star power is just not there on the WCW side at all. You know, if there was, I mean, let's think of, if you think of WCW, who do you think of for your main event players? You can say DDP if you like, and you can say Booker T, but Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Scott Steiner probably jump into my mind first. Lex Luger. If any of them had been in this match, or if, you know, 5 of them have been in this match against the WWF best, fair enough. But as such, you've got 2 guys. You've got Rhyno, who's a perennial mid-carder at best. Excuse me. Dudley Boyz don't deserve to be in this match whatsoever. And you've got to be honest, I don't think I would have put Jericho as one of the WWF's best, excuse me again, in there. But that's just me. Anyway, the McMahons come out first. Obviously, you've got to know who the stars are in this match. Angle gets a rather large face pop as he comes out. Brawl starts off before Austin come out. That means Austin can then come out and get the huge fucking pop. Obviously, Austin starts off with Rhyno. He owns him, including stomping a mud hole, a Fez press, and a superplex. A move that's all the more impressive because Austin was working this match with a broken back after he'd gone through the announce table at the King of the Ring. So to take a superplex, that's quite to take some balls, doesn't it? You've got to admit. Jericho in, as is Booker T. Jericho controls, including a Bulldog for 2. Angle into a big pop. He eats a spin kick from Booker T, then tags in Devon Dudley. Back and forth from those 2 until Kane in. He owns Devon, including getting 2 off a sidewalk slam. Kane gets a nice suplex, then eats a double neck breaker by the Dudleys. That Cole, like the idiot that he is, calls a 3D. What a fucking bird. Bubba in, he eats a lariat off the top for 2. Taker in, he hits a leg drop on Bubba, followed by Old School. DDP hits a neck breaker on the ropes, enabling Bubba to suplex Taker. Rhyno in, briefly, he tags in DDT, who unloads on Taker, getting 2 off a discus lariat, then a second 2 off a DDT. Booker T in, he also unloads on Taker with a dead man getting a DDT until the dead man gets a DDT for 2. Tag to Austin, he stomps up the mud hole on Booker, but the stunner is blocked. They go outside where Austin hits a really, really, really nice suplex on Booker T on the outside. Jericho tags in and he tries the walls on Booker. DDP stops him, so Jericho tries the walls on him as well. Jericho then plays face in peril for a bit until he can tag in Angle, who unloads with belly to belly on both Dudley Boyz. Bubble bomb for Angle and a Devon leg drop gets 2. Rhyno in, he gets 2 off a belly to belly off his own on Angle. Angle then plays face in peril as the Dudley Boyz pound on him. Booker T in, he hits the axe kick and goes for a fucking spinneroonie, which is nice. DDP in, he hits a nice bomb on Angle. It's a spiral bomb if I remember rightly. Now that means I've lost my page. That's annoying. Hits a nice bomb on Angle. That's good too. Bubba in, he does a WhatsApp drop with Devon. DDP in, he puts a fucking face lock on. Angle tries to tag out. He tags Austin in, but the referee doesn't see it, which is irritating, of course. Diamond cutter for Angle. It's called a neck breaker in a bored tone by Cole, which is irritating again. Brawler ups as Taker, owns DDP in the ring, including a sidewalk slam and a choke slam. Charles Robinson, for some reason that I can't fathom, who gets in the ring, he takes the last ride like a man. I've got no problem with that. Brawls break out everywhere. Dudley Boyz and Kane on the outside. DDP and Taker brawl their way to the back. Austin looks like he's been legitimately hurt because he's being tended to by an EMT for some reason, holding on to his knee. Devon gets chokeslammed through the announce table, but then Rhyno and Buyrate superplex Kane through the Spanish announce table. Rhyno gets up, staggering about, and Jericho clotheslines him through a table that had been set up on the outside. It's carnage. It's carnage everywhere. In the ring, Booker and Buyrate, double team Angle. But Angle then hits a German on Booker and the Angle slam on Bubba. Ankle lock for Booker, but the referee gets bumped. Flapjack by Booker T. Vince tries to slide the WWF Championship to Angle, but Shane gets it first and whacks Vince with the belt. Interesting stuff. Angle slam and an ankle lock for Booker, who taps out like a madman, but of course there's no referee. But Austin makes a miraculous recovery, picks up the referee, slides him, it's Mike Chioda I think it is, slides Mike Chioda in, and then stunners Angle, puts Booker T on top of Kurt Angle. 1, 2, and 3. The Alliance have won! And my God, I don't believe it. It's a 3.5-star match. It doesn't make sense in the slightest. Why would they have Austin turn heel at WrestleMania? Turn babyface the week before Invasion with those stunners to everyone. And then a week later turn heel once again. It doesn't make any sense. And of course, you've got to remember that Austin left WCW and vowed never to work for them again and absolutely hated everything that WCW stands for. Why would he join the Alliance? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Let me tell you, let's break this one down, shall we? There were 2 good matches on this. The rest of it was either shit or average at best, which means, ladies and gentlemen, for such an important pay-per-view, I can only give it 5 out of 10. It really, really, really isn't very good at all on reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Mark P, and this has been 10 years ago. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Love to know what you thought down here. Next time out, we'll be doing SummerSlam 2001. I've been Mark P. Take it easy, guys.